We have some exciting news here in Israel for this first week in 2026, causing some people to wonder, could this be the year that we see the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem? I'm going to get to some of those stories in just a minute, but first I want to point out that not everyone is exactly thrilled about the idea of Jews building the third temple. Some people are actually quite bothered by it. Just to give you an idea, here's an opinion piece out of Saudi Arabia. It's actually written by a Jordanian, titled, "Is Israel Poised to Take Over Alaska?" Al-Aqsa, of course, is the name of the large mosque on the southern edge of the Temple Mount, although some people use the name to refer to the entire area. As the author notes, Jordanian and Palestinian officials have warned for years that Israeli extremists aim to demolish the mosque to build a Jewish temple on its ruins. He also has some warnings for this year, saying there are real concerns Israel will impose de facto temporal and spatial division of Alaska this year. And he gives some reasons for his concerns, which are the stories that I'm going to get into right now. So if you have any questions as I go along here, just let me know down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and maybe I'll even do a video based on your comment. So first off, the number of Jews who have been ascending the Temple Mount has been increasing rapidly over the past several years. The numbers here are from the B'Yadenu organization. In the year 2025, over 76,000 Jews ascended the Temple Mount, which is a record in modern times, and an increase of approximately 31% compared to 2024. As you can see here from the chart, the trend is upward, except for a drop, of course, during the 2020 lockdown, and it is likely to continue increasing as Jewish prayer and religious freedom are becoming more and more the norm on the Temple Mount, which is exactly what I want to talk about next. There was a really unexpected and shocking statement by Bibi, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, at the weekly cabinet meeting this last Sunday. The backstory here is that the Attorney General's office has been pushing for Bibi to fire the National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Ben-Gvir is head of the police, and he's been openly endorsing Jewish prayer on the Temple Mount, and even praying there himself. So the Assistant Attorney General confronted Bibi about this, saying that Ben-Gvir was violating the status quo. And this was Bibi's response. The changes Ben-Gvir is making are not changing the status quo, and it is in coordination with me. I decide the policy. He seems to be saying that not only is Jewish prayer okay, but he's actually taking credit for the decision to allow it. This is really surprising to anyone who's been following the situation, because the Prime Minister has been saying for years that the status quo on the Temple Mount will not change. And the status quo is that only Muslims are allowed to pray there. Here's just one example, for this one from 2015.
Israel will continue to enforce its long-standing policy. Muslims pray on the Temple Mount, non-Muslims visit the Temple Mount.
So why is Bibi suddenly changing his tune on this? Let me know why you think it's happening down in the comments. The next story I want to talk about also has to do with Ben-Gvir. This has been in the Israeli media quite a bit recently. Ben-Gvir has replaced the Jerusalem District Police Commander. Word is that the replacement was made because of disagreements between Ben-Gvir and the former district commander, Amir Artsani, over policing the Temple Mount. Artsani has apparently not been happy about being replaced, and he even refused to attend the swearing-in ceremony for his replacement, Avshalom Peled, which occurred at the Western Wall this past Sunday. At the ceremony, Ben Gvir spoke about the discrimination that Jews have faced on the Temple Mount, which he called the most important place for the people of Israel. He said that there has been much progress, but there is still discrimination that needs to be corrected. He ended by declaring that the Temple Mount is ours forever and ever. So what's going to happen? Many hope that the situation on the Temple Mount will continue to improve, and we will soon see. So will the construction of the temple begin this year? Well, it's a process, step by step, but that process does seem to be gaining momentum. Just as we've seen the resumption of Jewish prayer over the past several years, and then bowing, full prostration, and then singing was allowed more recently. Next, we'll hopefully see more freedom for Jews on the Temple Mount, such as permission to bring prayer books, tefillin, other religious objects, the permission to enter through more than one gate, to enter on Shabbat, and so on. And the construction of the temple will likely begin by first constructing the Mizbeach, the altar, and the resumption of bringing offerings upon that altar. That's how it happened when the exiles returned to build the second temple. And once we have the go-ahead to do so, we can build a minimal-size altar in the correct location in a matter of days, without disturbing the Dome of the Rock or any other structures which are currently on the Temple Mount. The impossible no longer seems so impossible. Hashem commanded us, the people of Israel, to build the temple. May He help us. May we see it soon in our days. If you want to stay updated, this is the place.